Time no see, no hear. I was under the weather, had to make sure I could get my voice together. I'm about 90 to 95% with my voice. So, yeah, like I said, I was a little under the weather. I'm doing much better now. So, I try to be pristine with my voice, especially out in these spaces. But yeah, without any further ado, want to get right to the point. Want to talk about when the feelings are mutual. Well, I'm hearing a lot more game talk, and so y'all know I come from a different perspective, which I call the inverted perspective. So I just try to not sound like a lot of these people out here in these spaces, whether manosphere or just other platforms that have pretty much popular opinion about love, marriage, and relationships. Y'all know I speak from a different place, uh, a more futuristic place, maybe a parallel universe type of place, maybe perpendicular universe if there's a such thing. But yeah, when feelings are mutual, getting right to the point. Well, this is at the initial beginnings of you two trying to grow to know, because I say grow to know, not get to know. Because a lot of times you try to get to know somebody, you're not getting anything out of it. And that actually ties in with what I mean about when feelings are mutual. Because when you're growing to know somebody, hey, feelings are definitely mutual in that situation. You don't feel like somebody's trying to get something out of it versus giving something to it, right? What we want more is reciprocation and regeneration, right? That's what we want more of, a revitalization of such things. So, like I said at the beginning, everybody always be like, it's a game of give and take. Who's going to show that they're in love first? Who's going to be the one that kind of give in as far as I want to be with you type of feelings. And, whether male or female, people tend to hold back because I guess they don't want to call themselves getting hurt. So people, they play this game. Like what I hear a lot of times online, especially here on these YouTube spaces, is, guys be like, you got to hold your frame, because you got to hold your frame as a man, because if you show any vulnerability as far as liking her, that's going to turn her off and push her away, and she going to ghost you. And then you got a lot of gals that, they might talk from a certain perspective like that online too, from some of them saying they want a guy that's traditional. Well, that means you want a guy that's going to, open up about who he is, right? That's being traditional. That's being old school. So you mean also at the same time, he's not supposed to do that. Because if he does that, that's going to push you away. Make that make sense. Do you want him to be open eventually, or you just want him to play the same game you playing as far as not showing your feelings initially? What do we have here? Inquiring minds want to know. So yeah, when feelings are mutual, both people, the man and the woman, show this reciprocation. The man initiates, the woman reciprocates, just like the heart. Keep that in mind. Always keep that in mind. The man initiates, the woman reciprocates. And then what we see is the regeneration take place. So I just gave y'all a lot in a little bit. Ponder on that. Got any questions? Comment in the comment section below. Okay? But that's what we want to see. That's when what? Feelings are mutual. Because it's like the heartbeat. When it's not mutual, there's no regeneration. The heart stops beating because there's a lack of reciprocation, therefore no regeneration, therefore no recirculation of things, and things die off. Okay, so there seems to be a lot of things that continue to carry on with people as far as, oh, I don't want to give in first. I don't want to show that person that I like them first. You got the guys, like I said, that do it. They don't want to feel like, oh, if I show my feelings, that makes me look like I'm weak, so she gonna walk off. And then you got gals that be like, well, I don't want to show him how I really feel because I don't want him to try to get the best of me because I'm a woman, I don't want him to think he gonna take advantage of me. But if the feelings are mutual, why it has to be that complicated? If the feelings are mutual. So I say this to those that want the feelings to be mutual. You want that reciprocation as a result, regeneration. Y'all make sure that the feelings are mutual. Okay, that when the man initiates, sweetie, you reciprocate. Therefore, things tend to regenerate. Okay, because when that's not the case, then somebody's just playing games because somebody don't want to give in, somebody don't want to open up, somebody just don't want to be real about how they feel about a person. And don't waste a person's time if you don't feel that way about them. It's cool, but that should be early on known about. But unfortunately, you just basically know that the person was playing games early on, right? So just find out early on if the person's playing games with you or not. If you're being real and they chose to not stick around with you, well, they were playing games initially. I mean, people can say what they want. Well, you got to get to know somebody. No, that's a game. That's a game. Grow to know, not get to know. Why just say I really want to grow with this person from day one? Well, I got to get to know them. I don't know them like that. Well, you're not trying to know them like that. Okay? You should just want to know them like that, not try to get to know them like that. Because, when you're growing to know things, I mean, it's like a gardener. A gardener doesn't try to get to know a plant. The gardener knows everything about the plant before he or she plants it or see to it that it's planted. They know about that plant. They know about the garden that it should be in. So, with a man, when he's a certain way, he knows what type of woman that he wants as well as need. He's just going to approach her. He's going to be a certain way. And he's going to already tell her from the jump, I like you and this is what I like about you. And I want this, let's do this. And if the feel is mutual on her part, she's going to be like, wow, where you been all my life? Because I actually want the same thing, That's how it should be. But usually the way it goes, y'all, and I want to keep this long, the way it usually goes is you might have a guy, he might have somewhat of he likes her, but he don't want to really put it out there. It's just like, yo, she bad, she nice. And then he hangs out, but he don't really open up. And then she might be doing the same thing, like, well, I think he's actually pretty decent, he's pretty cool, but I don't want to feel like he's doing too much or we rushing, and that's how you miss out on your blessings. Because instead of just being like, okay, I like her a lot, and I'm gonna tell her that, and she'd be like, well, I like him a lot. I'm gonna show him that, and we just go from there from day one. Both people hold back because they don't want to cross this fine line of, I guess, vulnerability. We gonna call it the fine line of vulnerability, right? So when the feelings are mutual, you both are vulnerable with each other. Okay? You both are vulnerable with each other. And so I always say this too, and I might have to do a separate video on this, and I think I will, but we oftentimes confuse codependency with dependency. I think that's what it is too. That's also part of that fine line of vulnerability. I mean, y'all need each other. Okay, so what? Interdependence. When y'all need each other, right? When y'all fulfill each other's need. That's interdependence. Okay? But no one wants to get to that place. Well, like trying to look out for each other, develop an honor system, like people don't want to show that vulnerability. Instead it's just entitlements that tend to take place. Why? Because you got to be in your frame. Man got to be in his frame. Man, I don't need to go. I ain't finna look like I'm lacking. Bro, I ain't finna do that, bro. Because I was taught here online on YouTube, through all these different platforms. A man got to hold his frame. He can't look like he need a woman. He got to be good on his own without a woman. And these gals were taught by some of these same sinister sectors. You can't show a man like you need him like that. Like you got to have stuff going on with your life. You got to be living your best life too. And then y'all just come together on some stuff like that. Don't even sound right. But a lot of content out there is like that. But when feelings are mutual, that should be the last thing that come out of y'all mouths. Because if anything, y'all just fulfilling each other's needs. Y'all continuing to see the regeneration based on a man's initiation and the woman's reciprocation. The feelings remain mutual. Mutual feelings, vital things, vital, mutual. The heart, vital, mutual. Without it, nothing exists. You don't exist. That relationship don't exist. So keep in mind when the feelings, the only reason why that relationship will exist is due to feelings being mutual. Thanks a million.